Okay, let's talk about the Wim Hof method. I'm a big fan of Wim Hof. I got his picture here, right? The Iceman, just to remind me of, what the Iceman stands for: happiness, strength, health. If you're not familiar with the Wim Hof method, simply go do a simple research on it. It is an amazing, incredible way of energizing yourself, of even getting into altered states of consciousness. And really amazing. Now Wim Hof, look at him. I mean, you just gotta look at his picture, right? He is hanging around there, just sitting in what must be at least minus 20 in this picture, at least. Okay, and he's got like over 24 World Guinness records, and amazing, right? Amazing. And he's got this breathing technique thing, and that's what I want to talk about. So, first of all, I'm here to tell you that this guy is absolutely not special whatsoever. Okay, I mean, I love Wim Hof. I would not have his picture if I don't love him. But he is not a special guy, and he knows it. And he actually says it, and he would agree with this statement, that he is not a special guy at all. What makes him special, he is special in a way, which his specialness, even by his own admitting, comes from his ability now to take it into science, he's special in the West, let's say, but absolutely not special in the East whatsoever, because he learned his technique from the East, and I'm going to give you where he learned it from. He's special in the West because he's taking it to science now, right? Other than that, if you go to Tibet, this is like common practice. Because the two places that he learned his techniques from, I'm gonna give you the names for it. The first one, the breathing technique, which goes, or he does it slower in his method, but you could do it faster. Really depends. It's called in yoga. It's called Bhastrika. Probably not pronouncing it correctly, but it's Bhastrika. 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 You can do a simple research on it on YouTube and you will find it. It is part of Pranayam. Pranayam is what means control of breath, and it's an ancient old technique. Okay, it's in the yoga systems, in many yoga systems. Okay, Bhastrika, and that's where the breathing comes from. And then there is the other part, which you can even see on Wim Hof's website. Tummo meditation. Tummo meditation, that's Tibetan. Okay? And Tummo is the goddess of heat and passion in Tibetan cosmology. Okay? So the way they do it, and again, this is common practice. And Wim Hof he went in his younger days, he went out and east. He went to Mount Everest, he went to the Himalayas, he spent some time with yogis, he spent some time with Tibetan monks. That's where he really honed his skills. I mean, he says he's found about it through just simply taking a cold, jumping in a lake, jumping in a cold shower. So he already knew what's up. And he went to the east and he picked up more wisdom. So, Tummo meditation, just to give you an idea of what these guys do. They sit around in, we've got it pretty cold here in Canada right now, and I cannot do that stuff. I'm not at that level. As simple as that. But they would sit around in, it's in Tibet, so it gets pretty cold in the mountains, in the Himalayas. So it gets like minus 20, minus 30. They'll sit around and they'll just be sitting there quietly, not even moving. And they're able to generate enough body heat to melt the snow around them in minus 20, minus 30. I'm sure Wim Hof can do that if he wants to. Okay? In Tibet, this is just common practice. If you've been already initiated, then you can already do that. That's part of the initiation, I believe. And please don't quote me on that because I don't know enough about it. But it's definitely common practice in Tibet. If you're a Tibetan monk, it's definitely common practice for you to just simply go out into the snow. And if you really want to melt the snow around you. Now, what's going on here? What's happening? How can these people do that? How can Wim Hof do the stuff that he does? I mean, it's mind-blowing, right? I mean, when I first found out about Wim Hof, mind blown I was. Mind blown, okay? How can he do that? How can he withstand? He's got 24 World Guinness records. What's going on here? How can these monks sit around in -20, -30 and generate enough body heat to melt the ice around them? And the answer is meditation. Meditation. The Wim Hof method has 3 parts to it. There is the breathing, and then there is visualization and meditation. And in my personal, subjective, humble opinion, the real secret of the Wim Hof method, the real secret of Wim Hof, is mostly in the meditation part, in the visualization part. And I'll explain to you here. These monks, let's say even Wim Hof, but let's talk specifically about Tibetan monks. They're able to sit down and have total focus on one single object. I mean, in yoga, for example, this is not Tibetan monks, but in Ashtanga yoga, one of the practices they do is they'll sit around and look at a candle flame, and they'll just do that for days on end. Just look at a candle flame. It's called one-pointedness. And if you can actually be one-pointed in focus, you can literally become the candle flame. So years and years of meditation, years and years of calming the mind, years and years of focus, you're able to focus on one thing at a time, so much so that you can become it. You can visually, so what happens with these monks, with these Tibetan monks, as they're sitting around there, is they're able to take one thing and focus only on one thing. So they can literally, sitting around there in -30, they can literally become fire, because all they would have to do is close their eyes and concentrate on fire. And they are literally fire. They are fire. There is no other way to put it. They are fire. Now, if you are fire, what's going to happen is if there is anything around you that's below melting point, it's going to start melting because you are fire. So these monks, these Tibetan monks, they're sitting there and they are fire. Now, there are different visualization techniques. You can picture fire. You can picture I don't know, something, great heat. You can go into your abdominals, inside your body, and you can become heat inside your body. You know, there's different ways to visualize it, but the bottom line, what I'm trying to get across to you, it's one-pointedness. Being able to concentrate on only and only one thing. And if you could do that, and that is only done and honed through meditation. No other way but meditation. Okay? Because you meditate, you're able to focus on one thing, and then you can focus on whatever it is, whether it's fire, whether it's heat inside your body, etc., etc. That's the real secret to the Wim Hof method. That's the real secret to Wim Hof and what he can do. It's meditation. It's one-pointedness, being able to focus on only and only one thing. That's where all these monks that you see, even Shaolin monks, Tibetan monks, Wim Hof, yogis in India, right? That's really where they get all these superpowers and so-called supernatural abilities. It's because they're able to concentrate and focus their mind on only one thing. Now, I'm in the predicament where I know what needs to be done, but I'm not doing it. Because I know if I want to do what Wim Hof does, I know if I want to do what the Tibetan monks do, that I would simply have to sit down in a room and keep staring at a candle flame or stare at an object or keep developing that one-pointedness, which calms the mind. Then in that specific scenario, I would be able to go out in -20. Right now, it's about -20 actually outside here. And I would be able to sit there and I would be able to become fire. But I'm not able to do that. I'm aware of what needs to be done, but I'm now in that sort of phase where I'm just hanging out because I know it's a lot of work. Because I know there's a lot of meditation that's gonna go behind it, and I know there's a lot of calming down, and life is busy, man. Life is busy, you know. I gotta do stuff. I gotta make videos. I gotta all these excuses, right? But one day I'll get to it. Okay, that's the whole premise of me moving to Turkey and Thailand, because I will have much more time there, and much more time to practice meditation, to do many things. Life in the West can be busy. It is quite busy. So yeah, that's really what it is. One pointedness. If you can develop one pointedness, you will literally develop superpowers. You will literally have superpowers. There's no other way around it. There's no other way to even put it out to you. You will literally have superpowers if you can truly bring your mind to one pointedness, to total concentration on only and only one thing. Only and only one thing. So I'm gonna give a big shout out to Wim Hof for bringing this to the West, for bringing this to science. I know he doesn't talk much about a lot of the stuff that he learned in the East, right? He's more concentrated on getting this to science, and that's amazing. That's amazing. It's absolutely amazing. And hopefully this video, look, to be honest, the more I learn, the more I realize that I've got to take a bow, right? Humbly take a bow to Eastern wisdom, really, because they seem to really have a lot of maps for a lot of things that here we view as paranormal and supernatural and etc. They seem to have a lot of maps for it, and it seems to be like, oh yeah, like of course, like duh, of course, yeah, if you can focus your mind, you can become fire and you can melt ice. What's the big deal? Really, what's the big deal from that perspective? Because they have maps for all this, right? So yeah, that's where I'll finish off the video. And if you're interested to learn about this stuff more, I wrote a report called 7 Pillars of Enlightenment. It's a cute system in which I follow sort of to keep me, how can I say, on this path, in this game that we're playing, the game of consciousness, the game of enlightenment, okay? So if you're interested about all these concepts that I talk about in these videos, I bring it all together in this report. It's 11 pages, it's for free, you can download it, it's linked for it in the description, in the comments as well. 7 Pillars of Enlightenment. Other than that, I love you guys, I love every single one of you, and until next time, may the Force be with you.